We invite you to watch how we clear the views on all matters through our partner station MITV on DSTV. Clearview News. We clear the view one time and for all time.
Hello and welcome to Clearview News Desk. We're reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. First, the headlines. Super Eagles captain William Ekong and forward Ademola Lookman get nominated for 2024 CAF's Men's Player of the Year award. Nigeria's National Assembly recently passed bill on death penalty for drug-related offences, sparks debate among human rights advocates and critics. Family, friends and well-wishers of High Chief Raymond Dokwesi hold posthumous birthday celebration in Abuja. I am Florence Joshua with these and more. Super Eagles captain William Ekong and forward Ademola Lookman have been nominated for the 2024 Confederation of African Football Player of the Year award. Lookman's nomination followed his performance at the 2023 African Cup of Nations, where he scored 3 goals as Nigeria reached the final of the tournament, and his record-breaking display in the final of the 2024 UEFA Europa League. The 27-year-old struck a hat-trick to become the first player in history to score tries in an Europa League final, as Atalanta became the first Italian club to win the tournament. Ekong, named the 2023 AFCON Player of the Tournament, scored 3 goals in the game. The duo will be slugging it out with Akraf Hakim of Morocco, Simon Adingra of Cote d'Ivoire and Serhou Guirassy of Guinea for the most coveted individual prize for male footballers on the continent. We wish our very own Ekong and Lookman the very best. It's the first time the Dominican Republic has hosted a FIFA tournament. Spain won the tournament in 2022 on their way to the extraordinary achievement of simultaneously holding the under-17, under-20 and senior women's titles, the first nation to do so. 16 teams are competing to lift the trophy. We have a commentary.
Nigeria's Flamingos has been involved in 2 record-breaking moments at the ongoing World Under-17 Women's Football Club in the Dominican Republic, we just concluded all group games and preparing for the knockout rounds by Saturday. Nigeria attracted the highest crowd that would ever watch a football match, with over 13,000 fans at the stands during the Nigeria versus Dominican Republic match played at the Santo Domingo Stadium, in which the host country lost to Nigeria by a lone goal. No match in that country has ever attracted such a crowd. Out of the 24 matches played so far, 73 goals have been scored, and the highest goal scorer is Shakirat Abidemi Moshood with 4 goals. 2 players trailing Shakirat are Rim Jong-cho of North Korea and Mel Basinas of USA with 3 goals each. There were 3 own goals, that is, scored by errors, from Ranaba Mercedes of Dominican Republic against New Zealand, Haruoko Suzuki of Japan against Zambia, and Jocelyn Travers of the USA against Spain. Dominican Republic used 2 venues and 2 cities to host the World, but from 2025, the World Under-17 Women's Football Tournament shall no more hold once in 2 years, but annually, and not with 16 participating teams, but 24 teams. Clearview News Desk has reliably learned that Under-17 is coming to Africa for the first time and will hold in Morocco. Nigeria will play the first quarter-final against USA this Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Nigerian time. Poland will be next opponent of England In the second quarterfinal scheduled for Saturday at 23:30 hours, and Japan will do battle in an Asian war against North Korea in the first quarterfinal on Sunday at 23:30 hours. The semi-finals of this under-17 will be between winner of Nigeria USA versus winner of North Korea Japan on Wednesday at midnight, while the second semi-final will be between winner of England Poland versus Spain Ecuador on Thursday at midnight. The third place match for the bronze medal is scheduled for Sunday at 19:30 hours before the grand finale at 23:00 hours same Sunday. From the findings carried out by our own Eniola Olatunji on Dominic 2024, Nigeria is expected to take USA to the cleaners in the quarterfinal duel.
The campaign against death penalty for drug offenses in Nigeria program has been officially launched on Thursday at a World Press Conference marking the 2024 World Day Against Death Penalty. Coordinator of the campaign, Barrister Okereke Chinwike, welcomed representatives of the press and other critical stakeholders to the event held in the nation's capital, Abuja. Clearview's correspondent brings us details. Nigeria's National Assembly recently passed a bill reinstating the death penalty for drug-related offenses, sparking concerns among human rights advocates and critics who label the move as retrogressive and repressive. This decision echoes the country's past experience, specifically in 1984, when the military regime introduced the death penalty by firing squad for drug offenses through the Special Tribunal. The 1984 decree was notoriously draconian and sparked widespread public outcry, leading to its eventual replacement with life imprisonment through the Special Tribunal. As Nigeria positioned itself as a leading democratic nation in Africa, many have questioned the wisdom of revisiting such a harsh.
There is lack of any convincing evidence to support the argument that death penalty is more effective in crime prevention than other punishment and other alternative approaches in Nigeria and across the globe. For instance, UN in 2015 affirmed that whether the offense is murder, a drug-related crime, or terrorism, the scientific evidence for deterrence is unreliable, inconclusive, and in many instances simply wrong. That is from United Nations. It interests you to note that there was no wide public consultation or stakeholder public hearing, contrary to the claim of the Senate, including the joint reports. Moreover, the Senate and the House of Representatives Committee on Health were conspicuously excluded as a member of the joint committee, which definitely limited the joint committee in its true assessment and review of drug situation and problem in Nigeria to make such a report. In this view, as a leading democratic nation in Africa, it is our strong opinion that the action of the National Assembly by enacting another militarized, fiercest, and draconian drug law in Africa is very retrogressive and repressive and should never be supported and accepted by Nigerians. We are rejecting it. We are not accepting that. That shouldn't stand. Furthermore, you will agree with us that death penalty is ultimate, cruel, and inhuman and degrading punishment, and it violates the right to life as proclaimed in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and even the 1999 Constitution as amended, including other relevant international, regional, and national human rights laws and treaties that applies to Nigeria. Death penalty as a punishment is premeditated and cold-blooded claim of a human being by the state in the name of justice. In the Office of the United Nations High Commission for Human Rights reaffirmed that, I quote, death penalty should be abolished for all crimes, including for drug offenses, and law enforcement in drug control effort should be consistent with the state's human rights obligations.
The campaign, coordinated by African Law Foundation, AfriLaw, aims to advocate for the removal of death penalty as punishment for drug offences in the NDLEA Act Amendment Bill, urging policymakers to reconsider the death penalty clause and promote humane and effective solutions to address drug-related issues. Florence Joshua reporting for Clearview News Desk. Bosnia said a 14-year-old has allegedly broken into a police station late Thursday and stabbed to death one officer and wounded another. According to Interior Minister of the Bosnia Croat Federation, Ramo Isak, the attack took place in the town of Bosnia-Ka Krupa, 300 kilometers 186 miles northwest of the capital, Sarajevo. Isak said the attacker, born in 2009, was arrested, adding that the prosecutors had launched an investigation. Meanwhile, the motives for the attack were not immediately known. According to police, security measures have been stepped up after the attack. Similarly, the police said a 13-year-old had injured a teacher with a firearm in a school in northeastern Bosnia in June last year. 3 journalists have been killed in an Israeli airstrike on a building known to be housing reporters in southeastern Lebanon. According to reports, the attack was carried out on a guest house and a compound in Hasbaya being used by more than a dozen journalists from at least 7 media organizations, with a courtyard containing cars clearly marked with press. Meanwhile, Lebanon's information minister said the attack was deliberate and described it as a war crime. However, the Israeli military has not yet commented but has previously denied targeting journalists. The late High Chief Raymond Dokwesi has been described as a man who looked beyond himself in all he did for Nigeria and humanity. One of his sons, Raji Dokwesi, who made this known at his 73rd posthumous birthday mass in Abuja, said Dokwesi will be missed, especially for his impact and care for the people. Clearview News' Imofon Okon was there and now tells us more.
The late High Chief Raymond Dokwesi meant different things to different Nigerians across creed, tribes, and ethnicity. His numerous contributions to humanity, Nigeria's democracy, and socio-economic growth through the instrumentality of the media remains a lasting legacy for younger generations to come. At the posthumous birthday mass organized by family and friends to honor the icon, one of his sons, Raji Dokwesi, said his father's presence will be greatly missed.
It's just the presence, the impact, the care for the people, his friends, family. It's a big loss, I feel, to even more than just me, but even me personally. So, now we just come to give thanks for even having someone that had such an impact in Nigeria. And, I know he's sorely missed. It's different now. You can see the less numbers of crowd, Imagine the ability to be able to bring so many people together at once. And so that's definitely one of the, you see it, numbers, you see numbers. And when numbers are no longer there, you also see that. So I'd like to wish him a happy birthday even on his own station, and I hope he's proud of everything that he's seen.
Friends and well-wishers spoke of his lasting legacy.
Anytime I remember Chief Raymond Dokwesi, I remember a man, a baobab tree under which over 500 families were taking fresh air. May he so rest in peace.
The man meant so much to so many people, touched so many lives in so many different ways, including mine. So I always look forward to opportunities like this where we can, honor, respect, and, celebrate.
He was an icon, a compassionate leader, a father to the core. He believed in friendship, and he goes extra mile to make sure he adds value to his friends. So today, I really miss him as a person.
The officiating minister, Reverend Father Emmanuel Eta, who described death as a graduation ceremony, urged attendees to live a life of impact while they are still alive.
It is our hope that we all after this life will go to the great beyond, where there will be no longer sorrow, no longer increase in fuel price, no longer struggling for food, no longer struggling for what to eat, or how will tomorrow be. We will not have all those worries anymore. He has graduated to that land. We all are still there. We are still strugglers. He has gotten his result and his certificate. But my dear people of God, you see, when we celebrate those who have gone before us, it is a time to ask ourselves several questions. Where shall we go to if God takes us now?
Raymond Dokpesi died on May 29, 2023 at the age of 70, but his legacies remain indelible in the hearts of family, employees, political associates, and loved ones. Imefon Okon.
If you're just joining us, you're watching the news on Clearview News Desk. We will be back after this break. Stay with us.
We break the news.
This is Christ Embassy.
Recollect, we were the first to break this. Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf of Kano State has approved the appointment of 3 second-class emirs. And this?
Erasmus is the most successful program of the European Union to support education and youth.
And this?
Fubara is not an ungrateful person.
And more.
Tension is currently mounting in River State.
The planned arraignment of Yaya Bello.
Across our platforms. Subscribe now and you will be receiving our notifications and never left out as the news breaks on Clearview.
Welcome back. From 1999, when Nigeria returned to a democratic dispensation, to 2023, the 36 states of the Federation have produced not less than 149 different personalities holding the position of deputy governors for their states. Of this figure, only 10 have succeeded in taking over the mantle of leadership from their erstwhile principals. In this commentary, Clearview News Desk looks at the outcry for the roles of deputy governors to be properly spelled out in the Constitution, as well as the reason the theoretical number 2 citizen in each state have often been described as a mere spare tire.
Who are the deputy governors in Nigeria? By that, I am speaking about their antecedents, achievements, and how much we know about each of them. Also, how many times has a deputy governor succeeded his principal, the governor, after 8 years at the state government house since 1999? The apparent reasons for the choice of deputy governors are political. This factor is mainly dictated by considerations like geographical balance, usually based on the person's origin, including tribe or senatorial district, gender, religion, or the popularity and electability of the prospective choice. It should be pointed out here that every point ultimately revolves around increasing the future governor's chance of winning an upcoming election. It is neither in the interest of the deputy governor to be nor the people. They do this because, contrary to the expectations of the founders of democracy, that an elected executive and his deputy should be partners, our leaders prefer errand boys who would follow their lead without raising a voice. In most cases, the deputy governor trails his principal like the shell follows the snail and is primarily unknown, seen but not heard. The only time you hear from most deputy governors is when the boss sends them on an errand and they read the speech. In most cases, we do not know what deputy governors do, especially as the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, leaves their responsibilities at the mercy of governors. How often do you hear a governor go on annual vacation and hand over to his deputy, for instance? Most governors will instead take official trips, presumably to seek investment opportunities for the state abroad, in quotes, while holidaying. The game is so that they don't hand over to their deputies. In essence, deputy governors are more like punctured spare tires than anything else. Another source of worry to Clearview is this: how many deputy governors have gone on to succeed their principals? As a matter of fact, some deputy governors fall out of favor with their principals within the first few years in office. On those occasions, the governor mobilizes for his deputy's impeachment before the end of 4 years. On the rare occasions that this fails, they create a frosty relationship and replace the spare tire in quote, for their second term. For instance, as governor of Lagos State then, President Bola Tinubu had 3 deputy governors in 8 years. He had bitter disputes with Kofoworola, Akerele-Bokno, and Femi Pedro. Governor Rotimi Akeredolu tried to get the Ondo State House of Assembly to impeach his then deputy governor during his first tenure, Agboola Ajayi, but failed. He after that cut him off the government structure and chose Lucky Ayedatiwa for his second term, who, sadly, was at daggers drawn with him until he, Akeredolu, died. Now back to the question of succession. But for the accidental instances of Dr. Goodluck Jonathan of Bayelsa and Dame Virginia Itiaba of Anambra States, respectively, the immediate past governor of Kano State, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, will be the only deputy governor who made it to becoming governor. Check history. Even then, he didn't have his principal's endorsement, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. His ambition and eventual ascendancy marked the outset of the hostility between the two. So, why has it always been impossible for deputy governors, especially those who have spent 2 terms with their governors, to become governors or at first governorship candidates after their principals? Ideally, if the choice of a deputy governor is determined by competence and capacity, a governor interested in the development of his state and confident about the impact of his tenure should proudly present that deputy. He will be handing over to a competent person with a deep understanding of and capacity to carry on with his vision. This transition would even eliminate policy somersaults. So, why are the Godwin Obasekis, Yahaya Bellos of this world, and so many other governors cannot support their deputies to take over from them? Clearview News Desk believes that the first reason is the selfish nature of Nigerian leaders. If you weren't sure of an individual's capacity, would you choose him and waste state resources on him for 4 or 8 years, as the case may be? Experience is a significant determinant of people's performance in government. How then do we allow the experience acquired by deputy governors to go to waste? The answer is that governors get so used to the advantages of their office that they would rather do a 3rd time by proxy than allow a deputy governor who knows where the dead bodies are buried and whose loyalty they cannot rest assured of succeed them. It doesn't matter if he was the best for the state. It is the same thing with deputy governors who aspire to be governors. It is never about the people. Desperation is about the self. It is about the exposure to and likely access to the enormous powers of the governors. The respect he gets from everyone, his license to disburse resources as he pleases, and his ability to behave like a teen god, controlling kings, the legislature, and the judiciary in a totalitarian manner. When they see that the governor is incapable of supporting their ambition, they throw caution to the wind, institute court cases, cause disaffection amongst the cabinet, and do all things possible, including defecting to another party to get the ticket. It then becomes a free-for-all, in which the governor takes off the gloves and rolls out all his arsenal in an offensive against the deputy governor and his ambition. Both sides do not care whether the people and democracy suffer in the process. In Edo State, Philip Shaibu is now destitute and down on his knees. The other day, he was locked out of his office and then deployed to some sub-area of an office. He has been stripped of his media crew and subdued into withdrawing a suit he filed in court. He started begging, even as the governor allegedly insisted that he must drop his ambition as a minimum requirement for clemency. The situation in Ondo then, between late Governor Akeredolu with the then Deputy Governor Ayedatiwa, got to a stage where he, Ayedatiwa, got a court order prohibiting his impeachment. So, of what use are deputy governors treated like minions by their governors? In some instances, deputy governors extend subservient courtesies even to governors' wives in the name of survival and ambition. The subjugation is just debasing. Yet, it only makes sense that governors elected by the people have deputies. If only for the mortality of every man, there must be another competent person to steer the ship of state in the event of unforeseen circumstances. However, given the mercantile attitude towards politics and governance in Nigeria, only a constitutional prescription of the duties of deputy governors may help the country reap the benefits of those offices. Executives in Nigeria are too self-absorbed and avaricious to respect the conventional essence of a deputy's office. There is no deputy governor in Nigeria that has a defined role in the governance of his state. And this is so sad.
And that's the news, but before we go, a recap of the top stories. Super Eagles captain William Ekong and forward Ademola Lookman have been nominated for the 2024 Confederation of African Football's Men's Player of the Year award. Nigeria's National Assembly recently passed bill reinstating the death penalty for drug-related offenses has sparked concerns among human rights advocates and critics who label the move as retrogressive and repressive. Family, friends, and well-wishers recount legacy and fond memories of late High Chief Raymond Dokpesi at his posthumous birthday celebration held in Abuja this Friday. You can follow up on latest events and happenings around you via social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Clearview News Desk, or via handle on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Clearview Online. Many thanks for watching. I am Florence Joshua. Bye for now.